It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 26th of September. I'm Michael Groff. Our late season heat wave continues with more records falling by the wayside today, tomorrow, into the weekend. How long will it last? How hot will it be? When could we expect some relief from this heat? And dare I even ask the question about rain chances? Well, we'll talk about all of that. Plus, the tropics are active. Helene continues to intensify in the eastern Gulf of Mexico as it approaches the Florida coast. We'll get into that and everything else, too, as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday. Oh, my goodness. 113 degrees, the afternoon high. 80 was the morning low. Yes, another record broken. The previous record, 108 in 1989. Obviously, any temperature above 110 from this point on is a record. 97, 75, those are the averages. Looking outside right now, we've got sunny sky. After 8 o'clock, 84 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point's 41, so it's still very dry. Relative humidity, 22%. A light wind. The barometer's steady. And yes, by the way, that's 62 days yesterday, or as of yesterday, with a high temperature at or above 110 degrees. 123 days total with a high at or above 100. Why does it continue to be so darn hot? Well, here's the upper level look, the water vapor satellite view, and you can see high pressure is in control. We do have an upper low that's sitting to the south and west of us off the Baja, but with the ridge sticking around and the main storm track well to the north, that's going to keep us dry and hot. The watch warning map, we have an excessive heat warning in effect here for Phoenix. That's through 8 p.m. on Sunday, and that's not only for us here in the Phoenix area, but much of south central, southwest, west central Arizona, the lower Colorado River Valley. That is likely to be extended beyond that if current forecasts hold. Elsewhere, red flag warnings across the northern Plains states and over parts of Montana and Wyoming. Fire danger continues to be very high up that way. But obviously, the big weather headlines are in association with Helene across the southeast U.S. We've got hurricane warnings posted for the Florida Panhandle, basically from around Mexico Beach to Apalachicola, down to Cedar Key to near Tampa Bay. The rest of the state covered by a tropical storm warning, with tropical storm force winds already being felt across a good portion of the state now. We have a tornado watch for a fair chunk of Florida as well. Flash flood watches in effect. Storm surge warnings in effect for much of the coast as well, with the exception of the western part of the Florida Panhandle. So just about all advisories possible have already been posted. Those tropical storm warnings extend pretty far to the north. I mean, even hurricane warnings into South Georgia. Now, the convective outlook for today, obviously along and east of that circulation center, we've got risks for severe storms. And the primary threat from any thunderstorm outside of just the thunderstorm winds, away from just the gradient winds from the hurricane itself, thunderstorm winds with those outer bands can be very gusty, but there could also be some isolated tornadoes. The enhanced risk of severe storms across parts of Georgia and South Carolina, with the broader risk really from much of Georgia through the Carolinas and, of course, across much of Florida. The tropics, the broader view, we've got a wave out in the central Atlantic with a pretty good chance to develop over the next 5 days. We've got a new tropical storm on the board. That's Isaac, but this is going to be a fish storm. It may become a hurricane, but should not be much of an impact to anyone other than shipping concerns, and then it'll fizzle out as it approaches Western Europe. The big story, of course, is Helene. Satellite presentation, very good here. I mean, this is quite the storm. Out there over the eastern Gulf of Mexico, it's gotten very well organized, and the shear has not really slowed it down that much. It has continued to slowly ramp up. Now top winds are sitting at 105 miles per hour. The forecast track, the thinking really has not changed much. It's been very, very consistent. Slight wobbles to the west or east from time to time. But other than that, this has been a very consistent track coming in pretty close to Carabel this evening. Now, you can see on this graphic, the tropical storm force winds already across west central and southwest Florida, from around Newport Richey and Zephyr Hills and Brooksville down to Tampa Bay and Venice, Sarasota, Fort Myers, already getting tropical storm force winds. And obviously, that's going to continue. The conditions will continue to deteriorate this afternoon. But the big story, away from just the heavy rain, the tornadoes, and of course the wind, will be storm surge. And storm surge could be anywhere from 15 to 20 feet from Carabel over to the Swami River. And even down to Tampa Bay, we could see 5 to 8 foot storm surge. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you've been ordered to evacuate, I hope you've done so. If you are in a zone that's going to see 15 to 20 foot storm surge, you're not going to survive that. And, we don't say that to scare you here. We don't do hyperbole and hype and all that here, but that is just not survivable. 15 to 20 foot storm surge. You want to see some of the pictures from Hurricane Michael, which is a pretty close comparison to this, although Michael was a little bit stronger, and what that did to Mexico Beach several years ago. And that was not even 20 foot storm surge. So, and then further to the west toward Apalachicola, you've got storm surge 6 to 10 feet west of there, but it drops off very quickly, obviously, once you get over toward Fort Walton and those areas further to the west. Very, very little, if any, impact from storm surge will be felt there. But even down to Fort Myers, you could see 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. And then the east coast of Florida, from around the Volusia County line up northward into the Carolinas, you could see 1 to 3 feet of storm surge as this storm continues to move northward. So that is obviously a very serious situation. And again, hopefully you've heeded those evacuation orders. This is not something, I know people want to ride out hurricanes. There's some sort of social media cred people get sometimes doing this. I've seen some of those videos. This is not one of those times you want to do that. If you are in an area that is near the coast and that will be seeing these kinds of storm surge numbers. I mean, even 5 to 8 feet of inundation that you could see down in parts of Tampa Bay, that is significant and life-threatening. All right, closer to home. Precipitation outlook. This is valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Let me back this out and show you the region. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing. Let's look across the entire western United States. Basically nothing, with the exception of parts of the northwest coast of Oregon and western Washington. Basically from the Cascades westward, there could be some rain up there, but essentially from Duluth, Minnesota, to Minneapolis, to Des Moines, to Kansas City, to Dallas, Tulsa, all the way down to San Antonio west. Anywhere west of there, with the exception of maybe Seattle, down to Portland, Vancouver, Washington, it's going to be dry for the next 7 days. Just unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen the entire western half of the country and even the plain states dry for such a prolonged period of time. Why is that? What's going on? Well, let's talk about it in more detail. Here we go. The models, the GFS, the 06Z run, valid 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's that upper low that's sitting pretty close to Memphis. That's going to help to pull Helene northward up toward the Big Bend of Florida. And a little bit of a Fujiwara effect will be going on with those systems kind of spinning around each other over the next couple of days. High pressure's in control for us, the main storm track far to the north, a weak upper low to the west of us. And what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny, hot. Highs 107 to 111. And obviously that's going to set another record high for the date. More record temperatures will continue for the rest of the forecast period. Just know every single day we are likely to break a record here in Phoenix. And as for what's going on elsewhere, well, Helene is just to the northwest of Tampa Bay by 2 o'clock our time this afternoon. That's 5 p.m. Eastern time. And by 8 p.m. local time tonight, that's 11 p.m. Eastern time, Helene is in. Should be pretty close to Tallahassee at that point, with hurricane force winds felt anywhere from South Georgia down to Tallahassee, maybe as far east as Jacksonville. You could see a hurricane force wind gust or two, but for sure tropical storm force winds will be felt all across the Florida Peninsula with this. All right, back to tomorrow. Helene and that upper low continue to interact, and the center of those circulations should be somewhere across Kentucky, maybe northern Kentucky near the Kentucky-Indiana border, maybe a little further to the west toward southern Illinois and maybe another upper low center somewhere close to Memphis. Those two low pressure areas just kind of spinning around each other. Otherwise, for us, we are sunny, we are very hot, we are dry, high temperatures, again, somewhere between 108 to 112. Let's go to Saturday. This could be the hottest day of the forecast period with highs 110 to 114. Say it ain't so. The 28th of September, and we're talking about highs 114, maybe the hottest desert spots eclipse 115 degrees. Again, this is unprecedented heat for this time of year. No sign of any precipitation. Humidity levels remain low. Same thing Sunday. We back off a couple of degrees, but high temperatures will still be way up there above average and breaking records. And I'd say anywhere from 108 to 112, and we'll back it off another degree or two on Monday and Tuesday with highs right around 110 degrees, but keeping in mind that Tuesday is the 1st of October. Can you imagine the threatening 110 degrees on the 1st of October? Again, never happened before on record here in Phoenix. Let's keep going. This is Wednesday. Yes, the ridge will weaken a little. High temperatures will back off to around 103 to 107, but that is still good enough for a record high if that verifies. And obviously, there's just no end to the heat, and we're pretty much dry across most of the western United States. There could be a little bit of rain across parts of Montana, maybe over the Pacific Northwest, but that's going to be about it. Going out to a week from today, this is Thursday, the 3rd of October. The GFS has an upper low west of Los Angeles or west of Santa Barbara, but that's not going to have much of an impact in that position. And high pressure is still pretty much in control here across the west. We've got another trough that's digging in over the northern Rockies and coming out toward the Plain States. That's not going to impact us very much. High temperatures would remain well above 100 degrees in this setup. Going out 10 days, this would be Saturday, the 5th of October. And this is an eerily similar look to what we have now. I promise you, this is not today's map. This is a completely different graphic. High pressure sits over the western states, well above average heights. We'd be roasting high temperatures 105 plus. I don't even want to speculate. I mean, GFS verifies it would be insanely hot here. Again, more record-breaking heat. Could we see 110? I mean, who knows? But what I'm really focused on is this upper low over Missouri, and the GFS has another tropical system. Guess where? Right there over the eastern Gulf, almost due west of Tampa Bay, south of Mexico Beach. Now, could this happen? Sure, it could happen. It's hurricane season. Is this likely to happen? No, but it could happen, and it's something that the GFS has been kind of consistently advertising for a while. So we're just going to keep watching model trends, and we'll see if any sort of tropical system develops out here over the next 7 or 8, 9, 10 days. But we have to get Helene out of the picture first before we can even start to think about another tropical system. But here's the good news. Okay, that's what the GFS solution is. Let's look at the European at the same time. Saturday the 5th, nothing. In fact, it's got a ridge over the Gulf and a big ridge over the eastern half of the country. There's a trough to the north of us across the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada. We would be slightly cooler if that's correct, but still, temperatures would probably be several degrees above average if that's right. Now let's look at the European AI, the AIFS. Maybe we shouldn't look at this because 591 ridge here over the southwest. Again, we would be absolutely sizzling. High temperatures would be, 105 to 108. Maybe hotter than that if that's right. All right. And again, no hurricane on this graphic out there either. So we'll just have to see what happens over the course of the next several days, and we'll watch those model trends as we do. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble out through the 10th of October. Okay, forget it. Nothing really going on here. European, even less. 2 nothings is nothing. And temperatures off the national blend of models. It's got us at 114 degrees on Saturday. And that is possible. Hard to imagine, but that is possible. We'll continue with temps above 110 into early next week, and then we'll see a major cooling trend, almost subarctic highs around 105 degrees out there by about 10 days. Could be a little bit lower than that. We'll have to watch, again, model trends, but there is no sign of a break in the heat. We had our break. We had our break for a few days. It was absolutely glorious. Highs were around 90 for a couple of days. And now we're going to be well above 100 well into October. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning, should you happen to enjoy these videos. Even if you don't like the news that you're getting off of them, if you like the videos themselves, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video, make those monetary contributions to us, or you can donate directly via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is the PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name. It's called Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out everything Michelle related, linked up down in the description. And what is Michelle and Mike related is our streaming station called KMGX, playing a ton of music, having a lot of fun with that. Give that a listen. It is available 24/7, 365. Again, it is linked up, so give that a check. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a beautiful rest of your... Oh, wrong button. Thursday. Yeah.